The next morning, Myra wakes up and stirs Hama awake. "Hey," she whispers. Then she pokes her gently. "Hama." Hama rolls over and opens one eye. "Hmm?" Myra smiles and whispers, "Thanks for coming for me yesterday." Hama shakes her head. "It's nothing. You'd have done the same for me." Just then the others start to stir, except for Kip and Lizzie. Suddenly the muscular gentleman from yesterday's meeting opens the door and enters the room. "Good morning, everyone," he greets them. "Head down once more to the dining hall. We will discuss your options after you have eaten breakfast." "Breakfast what?" Lizzie blurts out with her eyes still closed. Chattery just laughs. "Wow, I thought I was bad." "You are," Hummer replies with a dry tone and a wink. They all head into the breakfast area and eat quickly, and just as they are finishing up, the same woman and the strange man that helped them escape enter the room. "Okay, guys," the woman begins. "It's time to decide what you will do. Before you decide, we can review any information, details you wish, and answer any questions you may have," the man adds. "Also, if you decide to walk away now, it isn't necessarily a permanent out from our organization," the woman continues. To which the man clarifies, "However, you will have to meet certain criteria to be considered as an addition to our numbers at any later point in time. So we'll give you guys the floor." "I'm in," Maddox states boldly. "Yeah, me too," Chattery says, immediately after asking, "But how do we go about food, clothes, and other needs?" "We take care of the essential needs of our people. Plus, there are ways to earn on the side. We will go into more detail later with those of you who wish to stay." "Well, as I said yesterday, I will be joining you guys for sure," Myra reiterates. "Shit," Kip exclaims. "That's 4 out of 6. I will join, so long as Lizzie does. But if not, I'll definitely be rolling with her." Lizzie growls. "That's one way to add pressure." "No," Kip contends. "I'm just saying I can't let you go it alone." Lizzie snaps. Then she softens her expression as she brushes her bright orange hair behind her ear with her fingers. "Well, that's kind, I suppose. But they just said they would provide food. I guess that's good enough for me, for now." "Fantastic," the gentleman exclaims. "All of you have chosen to stay. This is truly ideal." "Yes, indeed it is," the woman chimes in with the first smile any of them had seen from her. Immediately after, she raises her right hand. "Now then, it's time for you guys to see what we have to offer you. And what we will be needing from you in return," the man states. "But before we get into any of that, now that you're all on board, we should officially introduce ourselves." He begins the introductions. "My name is Kunar, and I fill several important roles for the Dawn. I'm Janice, and I help induct new members and guide them in the development of their craft, among other vital functions," the tall, blonde-headed woman states. Next, Kunar motions for them to follow him. "Follow me, guys. We'll start by touring some of the more interesting parts of our facility." As they walk down long, rustic-looking hallways, they see many large paintings and murals hanging on the walls. The first room they come to is a typical-looking gym. Kunar begins. "This is our gym. It's nothing too fancy, but it gives you the option to get in a standard workout, if that's your kind of thing." Then he looks back at the group and smiles with a sinister grin. "However, if it's not, then we have something a little more current as a second option." On this note, he moves on to a different door, and as he places his hand on the knob, he pauses. Then he waves his wristband in front of a scanner, and the door releases. "This is where you will likely be spending a lot of time for the next few months," he informs them, swinging the door open to reveal multiple custom portal rigs. "No way!" Chattery squeals with excitement. The rest of the group also expressed excitement due to this unexpected revelation. But this is not just a game like you've been playing at the other centers, the man assures them. This is serious training. Here, you will have to meet certain standards before you can run actual missions with us. Furthermore, this is where you will practice your skills after proper knowledge has been gained, Janice assures them. Practice? Lizzie asks. Knowledge? Myra inquires. Yes, that's correct, ladies, the man replies. Then he explains further. You see, these rigs are quite similar to the systems you're used to using. However, they have some significant differences. Interesting, Kip jokes. Yes, Kunar continues. These rigs are highly customized. They have all the functions found in standard rigs. In addition to that, however, they also have variable pain simulator systems, heightened motion tracking, and verbal monitoring systems. The verbal monitoring rates your precision with pronunciation, intonation, rhythm, and timing. Whoa! Medic exclaims with a huge smile. Variable pain settings? Chadri asks, intrigued. Yes, as I said earlier, it's for practice, the woman reiterates. Then she smiles again, which gives Lizzie a rather foreboding feeling. Whereas the next room will be your first stop in all of this, and the place where the casters in your group will be spending a lot of time. After this statement, she shifts her attention over to Myra, winks and nods. Okay, Myra replies awkwardly. So then the next room must be the library, Janice exclaims half sarcastically. The library, Chadri shouts in protest. Then he objects. What? Yes, of course, she responds adamantly. Especially you, young sir. However, this is no ordinary library. The books, scrolls, and tomes in here usually have to accept you before you can open or sometimes read them. Interesting, Kip exclaims with dry humor. No, actually, that really seems cool, Hama exclaims. Yes, Janice agrees. Then she confesses, I love this library, and I have mastered several of the tomes over there in that section. Enhancements? Maddox inquires. Yes, I'm pretty good at enchanting, Janice brags. Suddenly, Kunar interrupts Janice. Over the next week, each of you will go through some tests, and we will try to find active mana manipulation in each of you. Rather, we will try to activate the dormant genes in your body. He then begins pacing a bit. We can see from your auras that most of you have dormant caster coding. Moreover, due to the particular hue and frequency of said auras, we can fairly well predict what sort of magic you are most attuned to. This gives us a good starting place. At this point, he looks over to Hama. You will be very interesting to watch, I dare say. On this note, he checks Janice's face. Agreed, she says nonchalantly. However, I'm really excited to see what the other one ends up doing. Then they both laugh. Kunar jumps back in. Okay, so there is much more to this complex, but for now, these areas will be where you spend most of your time. There is also an outdoor training field and a lake nearby. However, that will only come into play after a while. Suddenly, he holds up his finger. Physical training is a must. Casters and fighters both need stamina and strength. Fighters will initially receive combat training and weapons training. Weapon qualification and specialization will eventually become a more dominant factor. However, first will come basic mental and physical conditioning. On this point, he looks sternly over at Maddox, Kip, Hama, and Lizzie. Then suddenly, he redirects his gaze towards Myra and Chadri.